Come back at a $14.5 million offer. I said, let me read that again. First off, I want to thank God because that's who I look up to. To my family, that's who and what I look forward to. Don't choose anything that will jeopardize your soul. Prioritize who you are, who you want to be. But I think that me saying no to that $14.5 million offer.
You know Matthew McConaughey from Dallas Buyers Club, True Detective, Interstellar, Academy Award winner, one of Hollywood's most respected actors. What you might not know is that between rom-com king and Oscar winner, there's a 20-month gap where Matthew McConaughey completely disappeared from Hollywood. He turned down $14.5 million, rejected every offer that came his way, and bet everything on a principle he learned from his family. Don't choose anything that'll jeopardize your soul. This is the story of that choice, a test of faith that cost him everything and gave him back something far greater. This is Belief Unfiltered. Thanks for joining us, and let's get into it. This next part gets real. Matthew on why he walked away from guaranteed millions.
Made that decision with Camilla, and we said, look, I'm going to make this decision. There's no telling how long we're going to go without work. But if we're making the decision, like Australia, it's non-negotiable. We're not going back on it.
And you get offered a lot of money in that time.
Yeah, there's a great story. So nothing comes in for months. And I'm starting to think like, oh my gosh, I might need to become a teacher. I might need to go back to law school. Got to find a new vocation. I just wrote myself a one-way ticket out of Hollywood. This offer comes in for this action comedy, $8 million offer. I read it and I said, no, thank you. That's the stuff I'm not doing. I come back with a $10 million offer. I'm not reading that again. No, thank you. Come back at a $12 million offer. Guys, tell him I said no thanks. Come back at a $14.5 million offer. I said, let me read that again. I read it again. It's the same words that were in the $8 million offer that I said no to. But it was better written. It was funnier, man. I could see myself in it. I could make this work. Yeah. Anyway, I ultimately said no. And I think, in my theory, I don't have any proof of it, but I think that me saying no to that $14.5 million offer.
Very quick, let me step in. Notice the shift from taking control to surrendering control. He's not just turning down money, he's refusing to compromise his soul. That's Matthew living out his own principle. Don't choose anything that'll jeopardize your soul. This isn't career strategy, this is spiritual warfare. Here's Matthew explaining the principle that made him walk away from millions. This is the foundation.
Define success for yourself. Whatever your answer is, don't choose anything that will jeopardize your soul. Prioritize who you are, who you want to be, and don't spend time with anything that antagonizes your character. Be brave, take the hill, but first answer that question, what's my hill? So first, we have to define success for ourselves. And then we have to put in the work to maintain it. Take that daily tally. Tend our garden. Keep the things that are important to us in good shape. Look, the first step that leads to our identity in life is usually not, I know who I am. I know who I am. That's not the first step. The first step's usually, I know who I am not. Process of elimination. Defining ourselves by what we are not is the first step that leads us to really knowing who we are.
If you're still here, you're part of this crowd of believers trying to enrich our souls. Tell me in the comments, could you turn down $14.5 million for a principle? What would that principle have to be? Subscribe to Belief Unfiltered for more unfiltered faith stories from Hollywood that will change everything you thought you knew about success. Now, let's get back to our show. Matthew breaks down what happened after saying no. The silence from Hollywood, the pressure from family, the test of faith.
A year into me leaving and saying, no, more rom-coms. I think me doing that sent the message got around kind of through Hollywood. Oh, McConaughey's not bluffing. What the fuck's he up to? Something about that was like, oh, he didn't just recede. He's got a plan, but he stepped out of Hollywood. He's turned up 14.5. Oh, he's not rent. He's not for rent. Which, that's interesting. Oh, maybe a little more attractive. Well, you know who might be a novel? Great idea for this drama. Lincoln Lawyer, for this Killer Joe, for Mud, for Dallas Buyers Club, Magic Mike, True Detective, McConaughey. 20 months after I stepped out. I didn't know how long it would go. That's how long it went. All of a sudden, those offers came in. And I was off, and I grabbed a hold of all of them I could and did them and loved doing them. And
That's raw honesty about faith under pressure. 20 months in the wilderness. That's biblical timing. Matthew was learning to stop relying on himself and start trusting God's plan. The desert is where transformation happens. First up, Matthew on refusing to surrender his belief. Even when cynicism seems justified, this is the ongoing battle.
you know, that cynicism, I'd always swore to myself, you're born, you're innocent, then you're naive, then you're skeptical because you learn some things and you're discerning and make some decisions. The next step, though, seems to be when we go over the cliff to being cynical.
Yeah.
Doubting people, not giving them the benefit of the doubt. You start doing that enough, you know what happens? You look in the mirror, you do the same damn thing with yourself.
Absolutely.
And so it's an early death. And so that's what I found myself getting. Believing God or not, I think we got to do that. Because I'm talking about belief. For me, I'm working on my belief in God, but I think if anybody believes in their better self, their kids, or if you don't know what to believe in, I like to say, ask yourself who or what you die for. Start there. It's a good spot.
You can hear the transformation. This is biblical truth confronting Hollywood's lie that we control everything. Matthew discovered what saints have known for centuries. Real power comes from surrender, not control. This next part is pure gold. Matthew reading scripture in church, showing us faith isn't just talk, it's practice.
So we can easily enough see how this kind of thing works by looking no further than our own body. Our body has many parts. It has limbs, organs, cells. But no matter how many parts we can name, we are still one body. It's exactly the same with Christ. By means of his one Spirit, we all said goodbye to our partial and piecemeal lives. We each used to independently call our own shots, but then we entered into a large and integrated life in which he has the final say in everything. This is what we proclaimed in word and action when we were baptized. Each of us is now a part of his resurrection body, refreshed and sustained at one fountain, his Spirit, where we all come to drink.
And here's how that biblical truth translates to his daily walk.
Joy is the feeling that we have from doing what we are fashioned to do, no matter the outcome. And I say if happiness is what you're after, then you're going to be let down frequently, and you're going to be unhappy much of your time. Joy, though, joy is a different thing. It's something else. Joy is not a choice. It's not a response to some result. See, joy is always in process. It's under construction. It is in constant approach, alive and well in the doing of what we're fashioned to do and enjoying it.
That's the gospel in plain language for millions who'd never hear it in church. From scripture to practice, Matthew's given us a masterclass in applied faith. From $14.5 million rejection to Oscar acceptance speech thanking God first, Matthew McConaughey's journey shows us what's possible when we choose soul over salary, when we stop taking the wheel and let God drive. 20 months in the wilderness taught him what success really means. It's not about destination. It's about staying faithful in the process. His transformation didn't start with the Oscar. It started the moment he said no to the money and yes to protecting his soul. That choice sent ripples through Hollywood and beyond. Excited to see what God continues to do through his witness? Let's remember these powerful words as a testimony to the work that God's done in Matthew's life and is most definitely working in all of us.
First off, I want to thank God because that's who I look up to. He has graced my life with opportunities that I know are not of my hand or any other human hand. He has shown me that it's a scientific fact that gratitude reciprocates. In the words of the late Charlie Lawton, who said, when you got God, you got a friend, and that friend is you.